Hello, and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, and with me today is another returning member of the podcast gang. Last time he was here, he played Define That Slang. He's a live streamer and he's a live streamer on Twitch and a video maker on YouTube. I almost reversed that. It's IonPrime. Welcome back to the podcast.
It's really good to be back, Yemmy, and I'll say my catchphrase straight away. It's prime time.
It is prime time. Woo!
And how are you doing, Yemmy? Are you doing great? Hopefully you're doing very well.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Not too much going on this morning, but it's been a nice, calm day. How about you? How's your day been?
Oh, it's been a bit busy today, but it's been too cold for me. I didn't want to go outside.
It's getting a little chillier cold here too. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, because I like Christmas.
Yeah, I like the fall weather the best. And right now it's like fallish here, and it's like nice out. You can go out with a hoodie on. You go out with like some sweat jeans on. It's good. It's nice. You're not freezing your bum off.
Yeah, I'm the type that really is more of a summer person, but I can understand liking that type of weather where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just nice. So yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to shovel snow, so that's always nice.
Oh, I hate that. Don't talk about doing that.
All right. So, one of the first things I want to talk about with you, Ion, there's been a few changes to the channel since you were last on the podcast. Of course, that was a while ago. That was like episode 15 or something like that.
Yeah, it was one of the early ones.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the changes to the channel.
Oh, even just through this month and everything like that, I've been trying to streamline how I've been recording my videos and even streaming on Twitch because I want to get more prominent with it all. So it's been going over a full overhaul since then. It's been getting updates on broadband, my internet, and everything like that because I wanted a bit more power behind it. So I upgraded it a lot. Let's put it that way. And I upgraded a lot of stuff such as microphones and a lot of cameras and everything. So a lot has been going on behind the scenes. So yeah, there's excited. I can't wait to put it all out there. So, and everyone will like it. And I'm sure that they'll like it as well because it'll be a lot more pleasing to the eye. I'll put it that way.
Well, the thumbnails have also gotten several changes throughout the course of the YouTube lifetime you've had. Why so many changes? You're just not happy with the ones you were putting out before, or?
Yeah, I'm the type that is a bit of a perfectionist, and I want something to grab people's attention. So that's why the change, and I thought that I could do better because I know that my photoshopping and just overall eye for art, if you want to call thumbnails art, is it's a bit lacking. So I was like, okay, I want to change it to this. What does this look like? That's really where it comes down to. I know there'll be a slight update in the future, but it won't change as much as it got that right look about it that I was going for. All it's going to possibly be added is either my photo or my mascot, which is coming soon. So it's either going to be one of the two. So yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, I do think of thumbnails as art. I mean, when I'm making a thumbnail, it's always like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist with the thumbnails myself, and it's like if that's not popping the exact way I want it to, I'll change it around. Or if the joke doesn't come through as well as I thought it would with the title, I'll try to make sure that you can get the joke from the title in the thumbnail, stuff like that. And I think that does really catch people's eyes and hopefully locks them on, zeroes them in.
Yeah, that's what it's all about with thumbnails. I mean, even for more of my creepier games, the one that I was more proud of was one of the what was it? The Remothered ones because I think that was the very first new thumbnail that I put out was that one, and I was really impressed with how it came out because the main guy in it, who I call Emmett Brown, if you haven't watched that Let's Play, shadowed it, so like I made it pop so it looked a bit more frightening, and I like made sure to like open his mouth a lot more so it looked like he was like peering through the darkness. So I just loved how that came out. And even some of the other ones, I believe the Fatal Frame one, that's another horror game. I actually took a picture of Marilyn Manson and I edited it with like sharp teeth and everything like that. I was actually happy with that one. I only got that idea because one of the ghosts in that episode reminded me of him, so it looked like him. So I was like, okay, put that on there.
It's easy for a ghost to look like Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
He's a goofy dude.
Yeah, there with his style.
Yeah,
I couldn't pull it off.
yeah. Oh, very few people can. Maybe I don't know if they're gifted or cursed, but that's for them to decide. Randy, oh, my dog's barking.
We got a special guest.
What were we saying?
About how a ghost looks like Marilyn Manson and just how stylish he is.
So you got the Razer, is it Kyo?
Yeah, the Kyo or the Kyo, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. Yeah, I got that webcam, and I did a massive like unboxing on it. It was my first unboxing, and I actually got a little help from a few other YouTubers who came to me. I believe it was Shinobi, and he came to me and he was like, he told me he did a lot of unboxing, and he showed me a few of his videos. And he didn't want me to fall in some of the traps that he did in the original ones that he put out. And like I was just like, right, I was just like sat there, and I had my I had a piece of paper and a pen. Yeah, we still use them. And I was just writing down. I was like taking points from it, and after like I recorded it, I went straight to him on Twitter and I said to him straight away, I went, thank you for that, because it actually helped me in thinking of pointers that I could have put in. I had a general idea of what to do for an unboxing, but he drove the point more home, as in more detailed on it. So what it does, not just what it does, but also like take note of what's on the box art, everything so minute. And that's what I liked about his unboxings and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be as good as that.
Yeah, just like with thumbnails, unboxing videos can be an art form as well. There's a lot of people who do it really well, where they really go over everything that comes out of that box, and it makes you feel like you actually got the box yourself.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about it. Like, grab the people and say, like, look at this webcam. Is it any good? And would someone else buy this? I mean, for myself, I was looking around, and there was only two webcams that came up to me, and it was mostly the Kyo and the Logitech. I believe that's what it's called. I think that's one of the better ones. And I looked at a few comparisons, not just like videos on YouTube, but just like research on my own, a few things. And then the thing that grabbed me the most was the lighting on it, because I don't have so much space that I can have really big lights in the area that I record. So I was like, this is actually pretty good. And I tested the light, and it's got like several brightness settings. And that's why I fell in love with I wanted to sell that to other people and say, like, well, if you don't have a lot of like money or a lot of space, that this option where it's got a light on it to help you with that if you want to invest in lighting. So that's why I went that direction.
Have you noticed a huge difference in the quality of the webcam?
I have, yeah. I have liked the quality of it, the overall video, but I have noticed that it seems to do a lot more better in darker lighting. So if you're in a darker room with no lights on, light, it actually does light up the room very, very nicely, and the image actually on the camera is a lot better as well. Is that you can tweak the actual settings. I didn't really tweak them too much initially when I got it, and I haven't put the video out yet, but I have a kind of a follow up, which is going to be on the Razer Siren X, which is a microphone. On there, I do show a little bit of the microphone and its performance, but I also show the Kaio's actual video capabilities. But I didn't put too much emphasis on the video because I didn't want to steal the show with the webcam from a past episode. But I didn't really change too much of it. The settings, I didn't play with it too much. I just wanted people to see what it was on a default setting. But I was happy with it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm sure that I bet that video is going to be pretty informational. Do you pack in a lot of info in that?
Yeah. Besides doing the unboxing again, it's in a very similar format, but I do go into a little bit more detail. Besides looking at the box overall and then taking it out of the box, I do look at each port and everything that's on there, like how the volume works, how the push to talk works on it, and also noted on the actual connection. So it wasn't just a USB. Well, it is a USB, but just how it went together, because it came in pieces. Then I just showed it how it went all together and everything like that.
So, Ion, between your time on Twitch and YouTube, which platform do you enjoy more?
That is a great question. I was actually hoping you'd ask that question.
Well, I know throughout Discords and Twitter conversations that you've been talking pretty highly of Twitch, but I didn't know if YouTube was completely out of the question for you. I know you still upload videos on YouTube, highlight videos from streams, but that's a burning question for a lot of people.
Well, for me, they're completely different platforms. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, they're both video platforms, but to me, how do I put it? It's basically, if you think of it as if you want to go off-road, you would use a Jeep or something like that. You wouldn't use a Porsche or a Rolls Royce to go off-road.
Right.
You use something specific for that particular field. I do speak highly of Twitch, but I also speak highly of YouTube. Both of them, and that is a good thing because it's just it just overall helps out, and it really pushes the brand name of IonPrime out there to other people who are not really aware of it. And I should catch a different following on Twitch compared to YouTube. And basically, some people might come over and see the live feed, or even just some of the ordinary pre-recorded videos. So in my humble opinion, I like both, and both justify the means.
Right.
So that's just my take.
So neither one has the edge in the battle of the platforms.
Fortunately, no. But I would say the online video type aspect, like live streaming, is a little bit better on the Twitch platform. But YouTube is certainly better for the recorded stuff. And generally, when I'm recording, I can add a little bit more to it where we're streaming a set thing. So, yeah.
Ion, this might be one of the most hard-hitting questions I've ever asked anyone on the podcast.
I love the hard-hitting ones. Come on, bring it on.
Boxers or briefs?
That's a strange one. I never expected that from you, Yemmy. Okay, I'm going to have to go with boxers. I have to highlight why.
Sure.
I,
I
I
was,
hope not.
well, I just when I was a kid, I was a briefs kid. I think everyone is. You start middle school, elementary school, whatever.
Yeah.
And then once you get to high school, it's like all of a sudden everyone changes to boxers, and it's like, but but why? What happened? So I was kind of peer pressured in the boxers. Sure, they're more breathable, but I think that in the battle of boxers versus briefs, I mean, even though I still wear boxers now, I definitely enjoyed my time with briefs more when I was younger.
I can see like it has the pros and cons of it. I mean, yeah, you got more room to breathe, as you just said, and also with the opposite end of the spectrum, you can say you've got a bit more support if you need support in that area.
Right.
I can't believe I answered that.
Well, hey, let's move on to how you and your significant other met.
Oh. Okay.
Since she's in the room with you, might as well.
Should I? Do you want to answer that?
Sure, bring her on.
Okay, it wants to know. I'll rephrase it. He wants to know how we met. And she's laughing. I don't know if you can hear her.
You can answer that.
Oh, you want me to answer it? Okay. It was actually a funny thing, and this is going to embarrass her a lot. I was working, and this is how we met. And she was in college at the time. I was doing my job, and she was just sat in a corner doing her like homework. Just writing away in her little book. I don't know. One moment. Should I mention what was on that book? Okay, you're laughing. I should mention it. Cartoon giraffe on the front.
A cartoon giraffe.
Yes, it did. And that's what drew me to her. I was just walking past and I was like, new I don't see every day. So that's what got me to meeting, like talking with her and everything like that. I was just like, nice book. And she was like, okay, thank you. Her in the background laughing like a hyena right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we met. It was just in my day job, and it was actually her book that sparked up the conversation. If it wasn't for that book, it wouldn't have happened. Let's put it that way.
So how did it go from a comment on a book to full-time dating?
Well, after that time, we were like back and forth. I kept seeing her when I was working, and one time we just exchanged like online information, like to get in contact with each other, and we were just speaking on like Facebook Messenger and that, and that's how it really took off because we both asked each other. It was obvious that we both liked each other. Let's put it that way. Sudden, we were like, yeah, let's give it a try, and that's how it came up. And we're actually, we're here right now. We've been together now for over a year and a month. Is that right? Yep.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, and she won't let me live that down. She always reminds me.
All right, Ion, it's time to move on to one of the hottest topics for this podcast, and that is Death of Superman, which is the DC animated movie that came out, what would we say, about a month ago now. I just want to start off by going over your thoughts on the movie and how it compares to the last few movies in the DC animated movie collection, I would say.
Okay, if you're just going to go for like an overall critique of what it has been like compared to the last few movies,
sure.
I would say that it was one of the better ones. I really do think that it stepped up its game a lot. I did like the animation compared to some of the past ones. Say like, even though I liked say, for example, Hell to Pay, which was the Suicide Squad. I did like it. But I thought the animation was a bit lower quality, even though I still liked it. But the worst one for me, it has to be the Judas Contract. That's the Teen Titans one. Animation completely fell on that one. I don't know what it was with the animators and others in DC to do it like that, but I'm glad that they're starting to step up their game again.
Right.
In all honesty, out of the latest few, it has to be one of my favorite ones, and it's not because of a bias, because I do like the character Superman, because I do like quite a few DC characters, but I will admit I did like it. Probably a bit too much. I've watched it at least 20 times now. I like to keep watching something and like try and take it apart. And, so I'm kind of a critic on that front, but overall, I believe it's one of the better ones for the latest few of the DC lineup.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that Death of Superman was definitely one that raised the bar again for DC anime. I haven't really liked an animated movie since, or a DC animated movie. I haven't really enjoyed one since like Throne of Atlantis. Somewhere in that area.
I actually agree with that. I would say that was probably where it was hitting its peak myself. But yeah, keep carrying on. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, not a problem. But I did like this one. There was only a few things that I can mention that I said I don't like. One of the things being that Doomsday can take tons of hits from the mace, Hawkman's mace, but it's Batman's explosives that tear off his suit.
That was one thing that even made my eyebrow raise. I was like, okay, Batman's explosives must be pretty special.
Yeah, there's something special about him. I don't know what, but dang, it ripped that suit off quicker than anything else. And then also, they need to find a different way to take Martian Manhunter out of the fight. I feel like every single DC animated movie that has Martian Manhunter, he's taken out by fire. And they need to change that up.
They tend to downplay him a lot, and I don't know why, considering if you know anything about like DC lore or just how like the creators are. Originally, they created like kind of a safety net, if you want to call it that. Basically, with the characters, they had obviously Batman and Superman, but to counter them, they had Green Arrow, and Martian Manhunter. So basically, you both had, Martian Manhunter was obviously the counter to Superman, and Green Arrow was the counter to Batman. So they kind of had a safety net there. And ever since, in my opinion, they've always downplayed Martian Manhunter too much.
Oh, definitely.
He's definitely one of the bigger hitters in there. He's up there with like Wonder Woman, Superman, obviously, and other like great big hitters. But they always, as you said, they always take him out by fire, which is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like every single one. It's fire. It's always fire, no matter what. Whether he drinks it or he gets exploded by a gas station, it's fire.
Yeah, it's always fire. I don't know why. I've never seen anyone that freaked out by fire. But then again, the funny thing is about Martian Manhunter in his solo, but way before this is in the comics, by the way, before like the New 52 and everything like that, he actually gained an immunity to it, which I liked. I was like, finally, you're gonna show I've been taken out by a stupid gas station or a match.
Just a little match.
Yeah, that's it. Just a little match, and he's like, "Oh my god, get it away from me!"
Yeah, unfortunately, the Martian Manhunter comics during the New 52, dropped off significantly in quality. I tried reading the newest one that came out a few weeks ago, and it was just not good. They definitely lost their way with Martian Manhunter.
Is that the Reborn series, the DC Rebirth version, or is that
it's not labeled as Rebirth, but it's the first Martian Manhunter comic from the after Rebirth, post Rebirth. I guess you would say.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. 'Cause I saw that advertised, but I haven't picked it up yet. So I would actually like to hear your thoughts on it. And from what you said there, they haven't really.
They just they never elevate the character. Like it's either a stale story with the same thing going on, or he gets beaten into a pulp and then all of a sudden rises up in the end. And also just the writing in it just wasn't good. It didn't seem like a Martian Manhunter book. It just seemed like a regular old, thrown together fan fiction, I would say. And the artwork also wasn't eye-catching. There's a lot of books now that change their artwork. They've changed the paper quality also in the comic book, which I really enjoy too. But they changed the artwork in like all the books, including all the way from Detective Comics to The Flash. And I've really enjoyed the change, and I've really been enjoying looking at the comics more. Because the Batman comic kind of got stale after a while. After Rebirth, I didn't really like that. The Flash one had this like cartoony vibe to it that I wasn't enjoying. But now they're all like boom, boom, boom. I'm enjoying these books so much. And the new Green Lantern one especially has like this old style to it, but it's also got this new original story to it. And I guess in a roundabout way of saying this, Martian Manhunter is the lowest book on the totem pole right now.
Well, that is like saying something. I mean, I do understand where you're coming from, where you said that the all of the art and everything like that, and even the stories have like evolved, and they're a lot more better than what they were in the past. And I will admit, Batman and Detective Comics did in fact die down a lot. Even I will admit that they did grow stale after a while. Things that still bother me about the Batman franchise even now. I didn't like it that they gave him back his old suit, and I was like, what's the point in this? Like, I understand Superman, I understand that, but not Batman, considering that he updates his gadgets and his suit all the time. So why upgrade yourself instead of upgrade yourself?
Yeah, and then the whole run with the wedding for Batman was just a missed opportunity as a whole. Like, you knew what was going to happen at the end of that run the whole time. And they had the whole thing with the Joker in there, too. And once again, they always have to do this. They have to either kill off the Joker or make him disappear after falling off something very large. And once again, spoiler alert, they cut his throat. And I was like, are you serious right now? This comic book's going to go on for 3 years because they're just talking back and forth. Nothing's going to happen. Come on.
Yeah, I think they've pretty much ran out of steam with Batman, because I will admit the better stories.
Au contraire. I'll tell you this. The White Knight book. Pick it up. It's called The White Knight.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
There you go. That was one Batman comic that made me remember why I loved Batman so much.
Yeah. There was another one that's just come out with DC's Black Label. I did like it. It's got John
Damned?
Constantine. Yeah, Damned. I did like that, actually, even though that it was a bit controversial when that first came out.
With the penis, the Batman penis.
Yeah, everyone was going angry about it, and I was like, so what?
Yeah, and then
this guy's junk.
DC's response to it also was not good either. They were like, "Oh, if we could go back in time, we would change it." Like, don't do that. Just say, it happened. It's there. Whatever. So now I feel like in the future of this damned comic book, I just read the second one a few days ago. But in the future, I feel like they're starting to cut back on the stuff like that, where it's like it's kind of, it's like, oh, it's jolting. You didn't expect to see a bat penis in the Damned book. Just like in the second one, you're not. I mean, I expected to see, Harley Quinn full frontal while she's doing the little sexual dance on Batman. It didn't get to that point, and I think it didn't get to that point because they took out that page or something of the nudity because of the backlash for the bat penis.
In my opinion, that's stupid, considering that the Black Label is originally it was named as it's more for adults.
Exactly.
It's not for children.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give this to a child anyway, and it was marketed as such. So I don't understand why they want to take it out. And people like giving backlash to it, I would just throw my hands up and say, it's an adult book.
Just don't look at it.
That's it. I'm not going to give this to some 13-year-old kid to read. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think, and especially in the damn books, I think the art is where that one shines. The story is like hit or miss.
yeah,
But the artwork in that one is just so beautiful. Like Gotham, just those big panning pages of Gotham just look so. They look so real. You know, it looks like I can go there and actually see that. And especially with like the facial expressions on like the Batman and all those other characters are just so well done. And I compare it to like the Marvel Star Wars comics where they literally are taking like it's really weird because in the Star Wars books, even though the art's improved at this last run, they're still doing this thing where they like draw the outline of their face and then they paste someone else's facial features into it, and it just looks so out of place. So I really appreciate that in Damned that they're actually taking the time and doing the details.
well, yeah. I mean, that artist for that particular book is well known. I mean, I believe the first time I saw that, I forgot his name, the artist's name for that book. But
Yeah, I don't have
this
it
one
on
I
me
came
right
up. Yeah, I don't either. But the first one that I saw was Batman Noel, which was basically a Christmas story, and it's the same artist. And colors, the way that the snow is on like the dark skyline and everything like that, it just looks so beautiful. And I really, really have to say that he is one of my all-time favorite Batman artists. I haven't seen him really do much in other books. I think he might have done some Vertigo stuff with Constantine, but don't quote me on that because I think he has, but I don't know if he for definite.
All right, everyone quote Ion right now. No, just kidding. Have you been reading the new Watchmen book, the Countdown Doom? Doom?
The Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
I've been reading it. I'm up to date with that book. I do like its direction, though. I will say some plot twist. I don't want to spoil it,
Right.
but one plot twist in it was just stupid.
Which comic was it from? Was it earlier or the later one?
It was one of the later ones. Okay. I'll just spoil it. It's where
Sure, why not? I've already read it myself, and I'm sure people listening probably don't care about comics, so.
Probably not. But basically, when he fakes that he's had brain cancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fuck that part. That was so stupid.
I genuinely thought that he did at the start of the series, and then now that you learn that he faked it, I was like, what was the point in that?
Yeah, there's no point at all.
Yeah, at all. I was like, oh my god, what is this coming to? Only critique about that book is I wouldn't say a critique. It was more like boy shouting "Yay!" was mainly the part where you see Dr. Manhattan like supposed to be floating there, and you see Superman flying at him, and he was about to like punch him, and then it just goes black, and you're like, what happened? Did Manhattan actually destroy everything, or did Superman like knock him out?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, this is a roundabout way of going back to Death of Superman. I mean, how do you think that the Death of Superman animated movie compares to the actual Death of Superman comic book?
It's this is actually a good question because good points about it and bad points about it. The good points of the movie was that it was a bit more streamlined and more simple.
Mm-hmm.
For people who haven't read the comic, there was a lot of stuff in the actual comic book, and people were like, well, who the hell is this character? Who's that?
Mm.
I mean, original comic book, there was like Gloucester and other people from Cadmus, and even when I was a kid, because I didn't read the parts with the Cadmus parts in it, and even I was a kid, I was like, who's this guy? I've never seen these characters before. And that's the good thing about the movie, that it eliminates that. The other side that I don't like on the movie was giving Doomsday heat vision. still bothers me. I don't get why he's got heat vision.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the Batman v Superman movie had heat vision in it.
Yeah, that's what I came to as the conclusion. And I was like, you want to really put that in there?
Yeah,
but first,
well, what I was going to ask is, did you feel emotional at the end of this DC movie? Because a lot of the DC animated movies don't make me feel anything at the end usually, but this one actually kind of tugged at the heartstrings a little bit.
It did me actually. I did like how it hit the emotion like straight dead center of the eyes. It's just it was just so powerful how he was getting choked out by his own cape, and then all of a sudden, like, he's on the floor, he's beaten and everything like that, and then Doomsday's just walking over to Lois Lane, and you could actually feel the raw emotion and the raw like power of the character Superman when he's like just charging up, and you see all the ground just like break up under his feet, and then he just flies at him.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt it, and then all of a sudden when she's like crying when he's when he's dying and everything like that, I actually felt that, especially just after it with like Bibbo, the sailor guy who's always talking about his ribs.
Yeah,
I actually did feel like sorry for him as well, and even I liked the line that he said where it was about how good people die, and yet he's like a washed up guy. Why is he still alive? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that, yeah. That's my take anyway. I don't know who else took anything else from there.
I get that. It's a very powerful ending to a DC movie that you haven't really seen in a while. Most of them are pretty. I don't know. They usually fizzle out at the end. For me,
yeah.
Recently. And are you excited for the next one? Have you watched the previews for the next one? And with
I
Superman?
have, yeah. I do like that they put in the same voice actor for for Superman in it for Cyborg Superman. I do like that they did that. I expected it, but I'm happy that they did, because part of me was like doubtful. I said, no, they're going to change his voice, aren't they? But they didn't. So I was happy about that. My only thing is I hope they elaborate more on Cyborg Superman's more, because even though we saw it in the death, but let's put it that way, we only saw like the craft get like torn apart.
Yeah.
Then he flew out into space, and then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, he's flying back as half robot, half Kryptonian.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I hope they elaborate that a bit more in the next movie and how that happened, because let me tell you guys, if you're going to fly into space and your ship gets destroyed, you're not going to turn into a robot with superpowers.
Well, you never know. Besides from Superman, what other DC comic book characters do you think should have their own solo DC movie in the future?
Right now, I'm going to cross off Batman. He's had too many.
Yeah.
Way too many.
And also his are kind of going downhill a little bit. Even me, for a Batman fan, I can see the decrease in quality, especially after Bad Blood.
Even though that I did like Bad Blood a little bit, but I can see what you mean, yeah. But as for other characters, I would say I would like to see some of the more unknown characters. I would like to see possibly even a Flash movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, the Flash kicked off this line with Justice League War. So even though that was mainly a movie about the Flash, but a movie since then in this line.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, we see him now and then in, like, obviously like Justice League, and even Death of Superman, he was in that. But he doesn't have his own thing, which kind of surprises me. And it kind of saddens me as well, because they try to focus more on him in the TV series rather than making him more of a wholesale type of character that's still on the same like level as the big ones, like obviously Superman or Batman. But yeah, that's my thought on that. Is mainly Flash, but I would like to see Martian Manhunter if they did it right.
Right.
Yeah, that's my thought on that. It was possibly Martian Manhunter and Flash, but as for others, I would possibly like to see another Teen Titans or Outsiders book. I mean movie. I'd like to see an Outsiders probably a little bit more than Teen Titans.
Yeah, there's been a few too many Teen Titan movies for my taste.
Even that recent one, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. And just so you know,
Well,
I have not seen it. I've only
I've-
seen like a few snippets online. I haven't watched the movie, and it's mainly because I don't like the style that it's going with. I don't like its direction or anything like that.
I know we touched on this a little bit the last time you were on the podcast, but I just have one last question for you today, and that is, do you think that DC is killing off too many of their villains in these DC animated movies?
Oh, yes, they are. That is without a doubt. Yes, they are. Can kill off now. I mean, they've killed off. Well, they're mainly Batman villains that they've been killing off. But
I know, all my favorites too.
at least they haven't killed off the Riddler yet.
Not yet. They killed him off in the Telltale game.
Yeah, they did. I love that game as well. But for me, if they, what other characters could they actually kill off? And why is it always Batman villains? I don't want them to kill any more off. Really, I don't, because they're all beloved characters. Even if they're C or D listers, they've always done something to the stories that has lifted them up. I mean, even Clue Master did, and not a lot of people who know who Clue Master is, and no, he's not just a rip-off of the Riddler.
Well, yeah, if you read the Batman Eternal series, the original one,
I did.
He was a huge part of that, and they kind of made him look more like a joke for most of it, and then you find out, oh shit, he's like kind of one of the ringleaders at the end, and I thought that was really great to have him be that, because you're not expecting that.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I mean, even the smallest, most ridiculous character, like villain in that,
Condiment King, Quilt Master.
even Crazy Quilt, or was it the Kite Man or something like
Kite
that?
Man. He was huge in the War of Joke and Riddles.
Yeah. And I'm happy that they're bringing those out a little bit more and giving them more of a but they're still dangerous. That's what I like about it. Because just because they've got a bizarre gimmick doesn't mean that they're like harmless. And that's what I like about it. And that's one thing that I liked. I'm going to go a bit off track, but that's why I liked an episode in Batman Beyond when he's training and you hear Bruce Wayne's voice say, some villains or some people will come at you with bizarre gimmicks. So it means that it doesn't matter how bizarre this character is, that they can still be a threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take them seriously no matter what.
That's my overall thought on it. And please, DC, don't kill any more off.
Yeah, one of my biggest problems with them killing so many characters off, especially in like Bad Blood and some of the more recent ones where they're just kind of axing people left and right, especially Professor Pig in the Suicide Squad movie. I thought that was just unnecessary.
The last one.
Yeah, I watched that one. I have it, and I liked it up until that end where Professor Pig's just in the chair, he's dead, and it's like, why couldn't you just let him go and then have him come back in a different one? I don't know. But anyways, my point is, I feel like having so many characters die in Batman-related movies like this kind of goes against what Batman's all about. He wants to save everyone no matter what, because there's that hope that they'll either get better or whatever. But especially in Bad Blood, where you even have a point where I think it was Killer Shark or someone like that was falling to his death, and Robin actually, this is Damian Wayne Robin. He has a glimmer of that voice in his head from Bruce saying, everyone deserves a chance, and he goes to try and save him, and he dies anyways. And it's like, come on,
give him this one. He's changing his heart. Yeah, he's not a killer anymore. He's actually been a good guy for once instead of trying to hack someone's head off.
Right.
But even some of the deaths don't even make any sense. I mean, even in Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay, they kill off Vandal Savage. He's immortal. How does he die?
I will say I do like the way they killed him, though. I did find that as like a cool little twist. Literally,
it was a bit of a twist. Yeah. I mean, with that weird card, I believe that it was like, do not pass go, do not collect $200 type card. But I agree 100% on what you just stated there, especially in Bad Blood. I thought they killed way too many in that one. Then it kind of went into Hell to Pay, but it was a bit on a lesser extent, but it was still there. But it wasn't so much on Batman villains. It was like other villains such as like Reverse Flash and Vandal Savage, who mainly got the axe. Yes, literally.
Well, hey, IonPrime, thanks for coming on the podcast again. Is there anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
Really, I gotta say that it's been a pleasure to be on the podcast with you again, Yemmy. It's been a pleasure to everyone who watches my content, be it on Twitch, be it on YouTube. And I want everyone to make sure to have a good Christmas and to be nice to each other. How about that one? And also everyone should keep it stylish as well.
Amen. There you go. Where do you get your stylish clothing from?
Really, since I do cosplay and everything like that, I actually make it myself, or I edit it in some ways. So like I might get another shirt or something, but I might like put more stuff on it. So I try to tailor make that to whatever it is that I want.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, well, all of Ion's links will be down in the description below, including Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you stick around for a few more minutes, the end cards will also have his YouTube link and his latest video on his YouTube channel for your clicking pleasure. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been another episode of the Ferret Business Podcast.